So Jumbotail is an online wholesale food and grocery marketplace, as well as a new retail platform. Retailers will log on to the app, see the products that have been listed by sellers on the marketplace. They will place an order. We also run all of the supply chain ourselves. So we do warehousing, we do last mile delivery through our own network. We also provide payment and credit solutions to these retailers. So we enable them to pay by a variety of different payment mechanisms. We allow them to take credit by connecting them to NBFCs and small banks. And then finally, we also take some of our best retailers and give them the opportunity to convert their Kirana stores into modern convenience stores under our J24 program. So what the J24 program does is allows the retailer to turn their Kirana store into a modern omni-channel convenience grocery store, which we give them a POS. It connects into our supply chain network. They're able to place orders faster. For 4,000 products that are available on a next day delivery basis, which allows the store to actually stock a lot more different variety of products. So a typical store of about 300-400 square feet would actually otherwise hold only about 500 or so SKUs of products. Because we're able to provide a one-stop solution with next day delivery, this can go up to about 1,100 or so products. If anything, COVID has only accelerated the progression of the entire ecosystem in that direction. For us, from a strategy perspective, it hasn't really changed anything. We've always believed very, very strongly in the fact that India's food and grocery ecosystem will continue to be Kirana-led. Obviously the Kiranas will evolve over a period of time, and that's part of the business that we're building. But even the movement towards online, a large portion of this, in our opinion, over the course of the next year or next few years, is actually going to be driven by Kiranas fulfilling online orders. Obviously, COVID presented some unique challenges. There were some issues around availability from brands. There were a number of issues around lockdown. Obviously, created some complications for a lot of stores. There are other channels where a typical retailer buys from about 100 to 125 different suppliers. We obviously are in the cities that we operate, often the largest partner, where we have anywhere between 15 and 30% share of wallet for the retailer. But during COVID, a lot of these traditional channels had significant issues. Distributors faced a lot of attrition. They weren't able to get out and go to stores. Offline markets, wholesale markets were shut down for long periods of time. And so we saw a lot of demand coming to us. We saw a lot of customers actually depending on us almost exclusively. Jumbotail continued to operate every single day during the lockdown. And this has actually created a lot of trust that retailers have on us, where, for them, it is not only fair weather friends, but people who stay with the retailer through thick and thin. And that's what relationships are built about. In April, the last 6 months, we've continued to be operationally profitable. And we're the first company in this sector to actually do that. And for us, that has probably been one of the biggest outcomes of COVID. We've also been able to launch a number of SKUs where we saw, major gaps in availability. We were very quickly able to plug some of those, especially in, cleaning supplies, etc., where we launched, our own private brand as well, to really make sure that customers weren't in a situation where they weren't getting anything. And that is actually done extremely well. Private brands are actually about 17 to 20% of our sales across the platform. A lot of them are on the staple side, but we've actually been able to start growing these on the FMCG side, and we see a lot of potential there. Our view of private labels is a little bit more expansive than that. We believe that there are a lot of categories where there aren't enough brands. We believe there are a lot of categories where standardization is required. And our initial reason, and it continues to be one of the big reasons why we continue to invest in private brands, is that there are categories which are so unorganized and so disorganized that the retailer actually wants a standardized product 12 months of the year. And that has not been something that has been able to be provided by, small manufacturers or people with constraints on, how much product they can create, or et cetera, et cetera. Yes, it definitely helps us make more margin, but the primary reason to do it was to actually be able to create consistent availability for the retailer that trusts us. And for me as well, one of the reasons for both Karthik, my co-founder, and I to start this company was to, eventually find ways in which we could help farmers earn more income. And our fundamental belief is that will come in two ways. One is that providing market linkage for fresh produce is something that, we will look at. We will obviously do it for, our goal is to do it for our J24 store partners so that, they get a full gamut of solutions. We're already, starting to do that, and we'll continue to invest in building it out for J24 stores. But the other way in which we believe that a lot of value will get created for farming communities in India is through value addition, is through processing, at which point in time, those fresh products essentially become FMCG products. I think on both those accounts, there will be work that we will do, working further and further back in the chain with farming communities. Already with, our private brands in staples, we actually do procure pretty significant, amounts of raw material, and that will continue to grow. As far as fruits and vegetables is concerned, we will build this out for J24. Current fundraise of $11 million will be used for three broad goals. So the first one is to scale the core platform that, out to another 3 to 5 additional cities in South India. The model is operationally profitable in Bangalore, and we believe that the right time has now come to actually scale this to multiple other cities in South India. We generally operate on a cluster model, which has about, anything around a 4 or 5 hour radius around a large city will get covered through that. So that is the primary, use of funds. The second use of funds is really now expanding the network of J24 stores. We've really been working on the model for the last year or thereabouts. Really figured out a lot of the the moving parts of it, and now we're looking to scale it up. We've just hired some very, very strong leaders in that space, and this model will now start getting built out. That is the second portion of the business. And then yes, there will be other there will be some investment in private labels, but the two primary goals will be building, expanding the reach of the core business to other parts of South India, and expanding J24. We have a slightly more asset light model where we go to tier 3, tier 4 cities and rural areas, where we take certain brands which are looking to reach those areas through that model. We will also be using some of that money to expand that out across at least 100 districts in the country. So the various different revenue streams are commissions that sellers pay for sales of products on the marketplace, delivery charges that are paid for by customers who pay for delivery. We have obviously a markup that we make on the private brand portfolio. We have a certain amounts of capital that come from FMCG companies that are looking to market their products on the platform. We also make a certain markup on the credit that is provided to retailers. Small numbers, but that is another revenue stream. We actually have a revenue stream on J24 where retailers pay us a service fee, and then we also have brands that work with us to invest marketing money into J24 stores, and there's a revenue stream there as well. A lot of the investments that we have made over the last 4 years really are on the software automation side. We've used technology and software to really stitch together a lot of different moving parts, and so the business is almost fully variable cost, very little capex involved. We are obviously working on some projects on the mechanical automation side that would create significant value, but there again we don't anticipate very large amounts of capex, and believe that the model can scale very, very rapidly with very little capital required. But there is still value in credit. It creates supply chain efficiency. It allows retailers to try out new products. And for that, we have actually built an extremely sophisticated suite of solutions for that. The fintech platform allows NBFCs and small banks to actually use our data, our platform to onboard customers, to be able to underwrite their credit worthiness a lot better than just taking a CIBIL score. We have a lot of parameters that we are able to actually help them with underwriting on. And over the last 3.5, 4 years, we've done, in addition, or in excess of 200 crore rupees of transactions on the credit side. We have the industry's best repayment rates of about 99.7, 99.8%.